Hello everyone. Today I am ringing in the new year with a garden supply purge. Now I know a lot of people do spring cleaning, but by spring I'm getting ready to start my seeds. So I like to do all of my clean out and organization over the winter. And I did this last year because what happens is throughout the garden season, I'm just throwing random stuff wherever. And then by the time the season's over, I have no idea where anything is. So I'm gonna take you around and show you what I'm gonna organize. I'm gonna lay every single thing out on the table. And I also thought this would be a good way to talk to you about what I use in my container garden as well. So if there's anything you wanna get for this season, I'll let you know what I use, the things I like. I'll show you what I'm getting rid of. If I am getting rid of anything, I have to get rid of some things because I don't think I have enough room. So let me take you around and I will show you where I store all of my garden and some of my houseplant supplies. Now, I don't know if I've shown this yet on YouTube, but this is where I store all of my terracotta or ceramic pots over the winter that aren't going to be able to stay outside. But I love how it looks. I almost kind of miss it during the garden season when these are outside with plants in them. But for me, this just feels like, I don't know, an old greenhouse with all the pots piled up together, my little cat statue. So this is how I organize and store things in a way that still looks pretty. So this section looks good. Now let me show you where I've hidden all the things you can't see. Behind these two doors is my garden closet. And yes, I have a garden closet. Since our decks are on the top of our house, I don't have a shed, but I have a closet with all of my garden supplies in it. I also want to call out that little doorstop. I got it from an estate sale. Let me take you in closer, but isn't this so cute? It's a basket full of flowers. It is very heavy. I know this because I dropped it on my foot, but also our cats can open these because you don't have to turn the handle, you just pull the door out. And because of that, I need to put something in front of here so that they can't. But I absolutely love this. Estate sales, thrift stores, antique stores, that is where I would get everything if I could find everything there. So here's the inside. I have all of my garden stuff everywhere. It does start off the season relatively organized, and then like I said, I'll just throw things wherever, especially during cleanup. But I have all my fertilizers, my gloves, seed starting equipment, grow bags, burlap, every single thing that I could possibly need up here in my garden. There's even some irrigation down there, and then some more grow bags and poles on the bottom. So every single thing in this closet is coming out. Then I have these three cabinets on the bottom of my bookshelves. These bookshelves are from Crate and Barrel last year. It is called the Calypso collection, and it's modular, so you can get whatever pieces fit what you want to have. And they definitely had cabinets that had glass doors, but I am not a person who can have glass doors on their cabinets because, like I said, I like to just throw things in there. But in here, I think it is slightly more organized. I know this first cabinet has a bunch of vases and pots, but I also know that I don't love all of these pots anymore. So I'm gonna take everything out, make a pile for giveaway, and then figure out which ones I'm going to keep. This one actually doesn't look bad at all. I have bottles and jars over here, more jars over there, everything that I use to make my herbal teas. I have the yogurt jars that I use for lanterns, and then the plastic photo boxes, some hooks, lavender. So I am still going to take everything out just to reorganize if I want to, but this is probably not going to change very much. And this is the last cabinet, which again, not terrible. I don't know exactly everything that's in here, so I'm going to go through it. I do have a bunch of vintage plates, so I use these as either saucers underneath my house plants, or if friends come over and we have a little garden tea party, we do that up here, and I keep those dishes up here as well. I forgot, and this is a great reason to go through all your stuff, but it is a vase, but you can, I guess it's kind of like a very large floral frog, but I used it last year. It does kind of have more of like a summery color, but I might take that out and see if I can make something pretty with it this winter, but I want to go through every single thing in here as well. So what I'm going to do now is take everything out of all of the places I just showed you and lay it all out. How my brain works best is take out everything you want to organize, while it's out, kind of categorize it, and then figure out where I'm going to put it. And again, I'm hoping there's a pretty good sized donation pile here. Luckily, I have a lot of plant loving friends in Chicago, so I never have a hard time finding people who want either houseplant items or garden items. So we're gonna go through that now. I will spare you the task of watching me take everything out, but when you see me in just a second, I'll have every single thing laid out on the table. I'll go through, like, you know, my favorite products, which ones I'm giving away, and then we'll get organized. So I will see you in just a second. So I was going to take everything out of the closet and the cabinets, but this is just the closet, along with all of this. And the closet's not that deep, so I'm actually kind of impressed I managed to fit all of this in there, but I need to organize this before I get anything else out. So let me walk you through what I have. Most of the stuff I am gonna keep because I do use it fairly often. Here are my section of fertilizers. So I have Fox Farm fertilizer. I'll use this as liquid fertilizer in my garden. I'll also use it on the seedlings when they're still inside at a lower dose. I do have a whole fertilizer video. I'll link that down below with the specifics, but these I'm definitely keeping. I'm keeping this because I will go through my fertilizers. So I know that whatever I have now, it will be used. I have some granular fertilizer, fish fertilizer, which was recommended and has been really great, a really great addition to my garden. And then I have some liquid iron, 2 of them here. Now, one thing I'm keeping in mind before deciding to get rid of anything is that when I have the garage deck, which it's done, but there's not plants down there yet, that is 2 stories below where we are. So I probably won't want to have to run up here to grab something that I need for that garden. So I will want to have kind of a second, smaller, hopefully, storage area of stuff down there. So since I have 2 liquid fertilizers, I'll store 1 down there and 1 up here. So anytime I have duplicates, that will probably be my plan. Then I have things for pest control. I have neem oil, thuricide. I have dead bug brew, more neem oil, fungicide. I do have a lot of dead bug brew. It was mostly for the budworms on my petunias, but I didn't really treat them much this year and I didn't notice a difference. Like, they still destroyed them anyway. So I might keep like 2 of these and then maybe give the rest away to someone else who wants it. I have 2 empty bottles, so I need to wash those and probably not store those back in the closet for now. Some other stuff that was in there. These are 2 little decorative pieces that I got sent to me, and they're really pretty. I didn't get them until later in the season, so they weren't out there for very long, but these will catch the sun and shine it around. So I'm definitely keeping these, but I might put them somewhere where they can stay out since they do look pretty. I have all my pruners, which I will be keeping out because I need to clean and sharpen them. These little garden scissors that I use, I actually think that 3 pruners isn't a crazy amount. So one of these might go downstairs, the other 2 I'll keep up here, even though it's just me. But if I ever need my husband to help, I do want to have a second pair of pruners for him. This is a sword. I like to call it a sword that I got from Amazon. I use it on really large stalks that I need to cut down. So it's not something I get a lot of use out of, but when I use it in the times that I need it, I'm glad it's there. I have a hori-hori knife, and then I have way too many gloves. My problem is, I think these are my first garden gloves, that it's hard for me to get rid of things, even as these get worn out, but these don't feel terrible. And again, I do want to have some for downstairs. So my older ones, I'll probably give these a wash, but then move them downstairs. And then I have nice new ones. I always do that. I buy something new to replace something, but because the old thing I'm just used to, I keep using that. Touchscreen gloves. Okay, I need to definitely go through this pile and figure out which ones I'm keeping and which ones I'm not. Sunglasses, mine and my husband. Bungee cords in case I need to wrap it around anything that's tarped. I have more granular fertilizers. These are all my Espoma, Biotone, soil acidifier. What are you? You are bone meal from Burpee, Bulb Tone, another bone meal from Burpee, Biotone, Hollytone, and Citrus. I will still keep these, but I do find myself kind of going back more to the basics. So what I mean by that is instead of making sure I need a fertilizer for every single type of plant, sometimes the all-purpose fertilizers work just as well. So I have been going through those bags, but when I finish them, unless I really think I need them, like I know I love the Biotone starter fertilizer, so I will get that again. But things like the citrus, I think it's fruit tree too, because I'm realizing I don't have any citrus anymore. But once I go through that, then I'll probably stop and just use an all-purpose. This is my irrigation section plus vermiculite, which I use for seed starting. So you need to go over here. So my favorite so far, last year I actually gave away all of my older timers. My favorite timer is the Orbit Beehive because I can control it from my phone and monitor it from my phone. I have one for the front deck, one for the back deck. I need to get a third one for the garage deck. They all connect together with this. So if you do have the wireless timer, you do have to get this wireless hub, which is in bold on the website, and I missed it and only got the timer at first, but you only need one of these. I should be able to connect all 3 timers. The only thing is that the garage deck timer might be too far away from the hub because the hub is up here. So we'll see how that works come spring when I get that set up. Now, my favorite so far irrigation kit is Carpathian. This I get on Amazon. They have newer kits. So I would look for any that have a 1/2-inch tube as the main line because that allows more water to flow through. But I have added on, like this is just a random, I don't know what company that is, Castame, that has a bunch of different fittings because now that I'm more comfortable with my irrigation set, I can customize it how I want. So if you are looking for an easy way to get started, I would say Carpathian, but I do know a lot of people just go to Home Depot and buy the tubing that they need because maybe it's a little bit more industrial, but for my container garden, that seems to work well. I have all my hose splitters that I will need to go through, an empty box. I'll figure out if I need to keep that. And then this is my section of things that go under pots, which has become very important to me this last year. I basically put something under all of my pots to protect my deck. These are, I think they're stick-on wheels. There are weight requirements, so I have to double check that, but I'm gonna use these on the garage deck for some of the pots. I have these feet, which just go under and stick on. And then what's in here? I think these are my larger ones. Yeah, I have more industrial size that screw in. Coming over here, I have my house plant, which is a very small section, a leaf shine. This is for fungus gnats. I use this brush for either planting seeds, making a hole, or pollinating some of my plants with hand pollination. These are garden tags. I will reuse the ones I used last year, assuming I had the same thing. Moisture meter, seed starting kits, vermiculite for top of seeds. And I think that's everything on top of the table. On the floor, I have my potting mat that I also use as a paint tarp, and it still works, so I'm still using it. I have 30-gallon grow bags. I'll probably give some grow bags away because I don't think I need as many as I have. Random cord, so I'm gonna figure out what that goes to. Saucers, plastic and ceramic. I will keep all of those because I use those for my house plants. This is the greenhouse that's going to go on the cedar planter's bed in the spring. My grow lights, plastic pots that I use for house plants for upsizing. These were from my other greenhouse, but I also use the poles as supports for plants in my garden and house plants. So keeping those, a little caterpillar protector screen, hanging baskets, gonna get rid of those because I don't use them and they're too small. They have to be watered too often, so I don't really like that for my garden. So I'm gonna get rid of those. These grow bags are from Bootstrap Farmer. I'm 100% keeping all of these. They're 7-gallon and they're brown, which I feel like blends in with my deck really well. So 100% keeping those. Some of these I will give away, some I will keep. So I'll have to figure out, I also have some outside. So I'll have to see which ones I need and don't need. I'll probably wait until spring though to make sure I have the ones that I need and then donate the rest to a school. And lastly, burlap sacks. And what's kind of funny about the burlap sacks is I do remember from last year, I think it was last year, some video I was putting those in the to give away pile. And then like a few days later, I realized I could use them. So I took them out and used them. So now I'm keeping them. It's another thing where I don't use them a lot, but when I need them, I'm glad that I have them. So I'm gonna organize all of this first. I'll show you what the closet looks like at the end, and then we will work on the shelves underneath the bookcase. I've made some progress and I'm very excited. So let me show you what I've organized, what I'm keeping, what I'm giving away, and what I'm gonna bring downstairs. This is the start of the giveaway pile. So these are 2 grow lights. Well, technically they're just LED lights from Walmart, but you can use those as grow lights. But I have upgraded to grow lights from Gardener Supply that are a little bit more intense. So I'm gonna give these away. This is a pile of grow bags I think I'm good to give away. And then the little caterpillar net, because I don't think I use it as much as, like for example, these I think I want to donate to a school. I think the kids would have more fun with that. So I'm going to give that away. I'm also gonna give away these 3 bottles. So 1 bottle of the Captain Jack's Dead Bug because I have to and I don't really use much spray anymore anyway. This bottle here of the BT, and then this of the neem oil. And this is unopened. These are open, so these I will give to a friend. All this is going downstairs, some to go in the dishwasher, some that's gonna stay down there, but I haven't organized the downstairs area yet, so I probably shouldn't throw too much in that closet for now. And then I brought out all of my pots from under the cabinets, and I think this is as far as I'm gonna go today, but I've organized them in what I'm going to give away, which is these rows of pink pots here, and then every other vase here I'm gonna keep. So over time, I've kind of found my aesthetic, and I really love old things. So the older, the better. If it's chipped, if it's cracked, as long as it functions, I don't care. So most of, well, if not all of, the vases that I'm keeping are from thrift stores, antique stores, things that were my mom's or my grandma's. So those I'm gonna save. Anything that I got recently at a garden center, I'm gonna give those to one of my houseplant loving friends who also, luckily, happens to like pink. So that's where those are going to go. And just as a tip, if there's a no-buy group for your neighborhood on Facebook, that is the quickest I've been able to get rid of items that I don't need anymore, because I feel like sometimes someone might say they'll come pick it up, but then it's weeks and months later and they haven't come by. But with that no-buy group, I've had stuff gone in a couple hours. So if you are looking to give stuff away, definitely see if there's any no-buy groups around you on Facebook. But now the most exciting part, this is the closet. I have so much more space. So up top is a garden answer kneeling pad, the burlap sacks, the bungee cords, things that I'm not using every day. I try to put those out of the way. And then over here are all of my fertilizers. Well, most of my fertilizers, mostly liquid fertilizers, any types of sprays that I have. This shelf here is either seed starting or house plants. Down here, so this is the greenhouse for the cedar planter's bed, and I'm putting it here so that it stays at the top of my mind to remember to get it out there in the spring. And then I just have pot feet and then the name tags for my herbs. This is probably the easiest, most accessible shelf for me based on the height. So all the gloves are in here. I still need to clean and sharpen my pruners, my hat, a mask if I'm working with perlite or anything else that I don't want to inhale. But that looks so much more organized now. Here's the granular fertilizers, bone meal, acidifiers. Oh, that looks so good. And then I have an empty shelf, which I will try not to fill with things that I don't need. So we'll see how that goes. Down here, I have pots that I use to upsize my houseplants, my grow bags, more grow bags here, the poles that I use for supports, plant saucers, and then everything for irrigation fits on that shelf now, which it didn't before. I absolutely love the feeling of a newly organized space. So I'm really excited that that is all set up and ready to go. That way when I start my seeds in a few months, I know where all my seed starting supplies are. I know where all my fertilizers are. I also cleaned out the shelves because they were covered in dirt. But I love organizing in general, which I don't know if that's a normally fun thing for people to do, but I love it. I just feel like I'm much more relaxed and calm afterwards, knowing that things aren't a mess. And it never takes as long as I feel like I think it's going to. And as long as I keep doing this once a year, then I kind of stay on top of not collecting too many things that I don't use anymore. So yeah, I'm going to give away the stuff that I showed you. Some of the stuff's going downstairs, and then everything else I'm going to use for the garden season. Let me know if you organize now or if you organize more in the spring for spring cleaning, but I just love new year, new start. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.